Well, we want to go to Los Angeles and to talk to Senator Kennedy, who is now in his headquarters, and ABC correspondent Bob Clark is there with him. They're taking their seats now, and here we switch now to the Hotel Ambassador in Los Angeles, and Bob Clark with Senator Robert Kennedy.
Turn those things off.
Senator, we are about to go.
Well, I'm obviously happy that it's an apparent victory. I won't be happy or satisfied until it's over. But, you know, I was very pleased with South Dakota, where the vice president had campaigned and spent a good deal of time. It's his home state. And I'm obviously pleased that we're moving ahead here in the state of California, which has such a large number of delegates for Chicago.
There are some indications, still unverified, but some predictions that you might win more than 50% of the vote, substantially more than 50%. How would that make you feel?
Well, that would make me feel even more pleased. I would be just pleased if I won, because I think this was a difficult contest. There was a great deal of opposition put up against me, and I'm very grateful to all those who voted for me and all those who worked for me.
Would you agree that in the light of Senator McCarthy's substantial vote here, that you and he still have somehow you have to get together before the convention in order to stop Hubert Humphrey?
Well, I wouldn't put it in those terms so much as I put it in terms that I think the primaries have indicated all across the country that the country and the Democratic Party wants to move in a different direction than they have over the period of the last 3 years. I think for the Democratic Convention and the delegates of the Democratic Convention to ignore that quite clear mandate, I think would be a terrible mistake. I think that if we look at the record of all of the primaries and how we've done respectively, that I think that I would hope that perhaps I have great respect for Senator McCarthy. I have the greatest respect for those who have been associated with him in the effort. I would hope that perhaps we could get together now after these primaries are completed and finished and start to work together to build up forces which would bring the Democratic Convention in a different direction than it's apparently headed, at least at the moment.
If you defeat Senator McCarthy tonight in California, you will have beaten him in 4 out of 5 primaries.
Yes.
That's counting South Dakota today. Would you think this would finish him off as a viable candidate, as you like to put it?
Yeah. I think I know that if I'd lost 4 out of 5 primaries, I'd be finished off. And I said to myself that I'd abide by California. Hubert Humphrey got out after he was beaten in West Virginia. He could have gone on. And obviously it's up to the individual to decide that. But if we're interested in the cause, if we're interested in the country, and we're interested in the direction that we want the United States to move in, each one of us has to examine our own conscience and decide how that can best be done. And we've gone through these contests. We presented ourselves to the voters and permitted the voters to decide. That's the purpose of the primaries, and the voters have made their judgment.
Senator Howard K. Smith would like to put a question to you, if you'll hold this up to your ear.
Senator, everybody makes a tactical mistake now and then. Do you think it was possibly a mistake for you to have said that you wouldn't be viable if you lost one primary?
No, I think that as Gene McCarthy said, that only one man would walk out of Indiana. And as I said that after Oregon, that I was hurt in Oregon, but I think coming back under those circumstances here in the state of California and coming back in South Dakota, that it makes these wins here, I think, even of a greater importance and significance.
Well, Senator Kennedy, with
and considering Vice President Humphrey has done, although he's made a great effort in various of these states, and particularly in South Dakota, his home state, has done so poorly relatively, I think it's of great significance.
And Senator, you will probably get the California vote according to the projections tonight. You will possibly get New York, your own state, and with what you already have, that should be quite a respectable basis, should it not, for fighting on for the nomination?
Yes, I think it is.
Senator, there have been reports that you have been physically tired from this grind with no stops at all. Is that so?
Well, I feel a little bit better today because I slept today. But, it's been a long campaign and a long effort, and I tried to go to present myself to the people themselves, rather than just to do it through television or do it through radio. I went to, I think in Nebraska, to every community over 2,000 population, and many of these other states, 5,000 population. But so I've made an effort, just because I think the people are entitled to see the candidate and talk to him and ask him questions. That's my reservations about Vice President Humphrey, who hasn't done that at all yet.
Senator Kennedy, this is Bill Lawrence in New York. While you and Senator McCarthy have been fighting it out in the primaries, and as you've noted yourself, Vice President Humphrey's been doing very well in the non-primary states.
Yes.
Some even think he may have a majority now. How do you go about, what dramatic way do you go about prying some of these delegates loose or changing their intention?
I think in some of the key states they've waited. Ohio has waited, and the Vice President made a major effort for them to make that judgment before the California primary, but they have waited. Michigan decided this week that they would wait. Those are two key states.
Well, of course, Dick Daley is what.
And Illinois, of course, is terribly important. And then there are about 15 other states where there will be state conventions where we will have to be making an effort. So I would think, I don't think without any question anybody has the nomination. Secondly, I remember in 1960 when we were leading going into the convention, and that it was always very, very difficult, even up to the last moment, to ensure that you were going to get the nomination. I haven't even started to make the effort in any of these states yet. It is true the Vice President has moved around and he has been talking in these states, but I haven't even gone into these states yet. Well, I think that the primaries have indicated, as I said, that the Democratic Party, the rank and file, want to move in a different direction, a new direction, and I think it would be a very bad mistake if that was ignored by the delegates at Chicago.
Will you push right on now into the non-primary states?
I will.
Well, now, what do you think about this discussion we had the other night on ABC? Do you think it changed any votes? Do you think it was a factor in your victory in California, if it turns out to be one?
Yes. I think it was very important.
And
I think it was a turning point in the state of California.
Yep.
I think if I had done badly in that discussion, then I think that I would have had a very, very difficult time in the state.
Senator, I don't want to embarrass you, but a local educational station wanted to rerun the tape of that discussion, and we understand that permission was not given by your campaign headquarters.
No. Well, it's fine with me. So nobody ever asked me, but that's you have my permission right now. That's fine. I don't know who they spoke to, but you have my permission, and I would be happy to have that done.
Well, Senator, where do you go from here?
You mean personally?
Presently. I mean, tomorrow, next week.
Well, we're going to have some meetings tomorrow, and then the next day I go to New York. Or Thursday or Friday I come to New York, and we have some delegates that I'm supporting there in my own state that I will be working for over the period of the next 10 days. And I will also be going to some other states and to see if I can gain some support across the country. I think it's still wide open. As I say, I would, if I can gain the support of some of those who have supported Senator McCarthy, some of the citizen groups in the state who want a different direction for the United States, then I think that we have a chance of winning. If I don't gain that support, then I think it's going to be very difficult to keep Vice President Humphrey from gaining the nomination for the Democratic Party.
Some of the big states, though, that your brother had, John F. Kennedy had in 1960, like Pennsylvania, appear to be gone already, though. And they, as I remember, Dave Lawrence in Pennsylvania were very vital to victory in 1960.
They were, yes.
Can you get them back, maybe?
I think that's going to be difficult. I will try. But on the other hand, I have the votes of California, which President Kennedy didn't have in 1960. So, you know, it's going to be a long summer, I think, Bill.
Senator, you have said that you would not, under any circumstances, accept the vice presidential nomination. Can you conceive of the possibility of a Kennedy-McCarthy ticket? Do you think this is a practical political possibility?
I haven't really thought about it. I've just been trying to survive myself and carry, as I say, my campaign.
Why don't we end it?
So I'm concentrating on that. I am not trying to think about who's going to be vice president. I am making the effort myself, and I do know that I'm not going to, under any circumstances, be vice president myself.
Ideally, of course, you would now like to have Senator McCarthy throw his support to you. But is it conceivable that you might throw your support to him?
It doesn't seem really very practical, considering I won here in the state of, appear to have won in California, won in South Dakota, won by heavy margins in Nebraska, heavy margins in Indiana, and 2-1 in the District of Columbia. So, I mean, if we're in the primaries to present our candidacy to the people to see if we can gain support from the people, I think it's been quite clear where the support has gone.
Well, what if you got to a situation at the convention where you and Hubert Humphrey were in complete deadlock? At that point, might you move your support behind Senator McCarthy?
Well, can I wait until I meet you in Chicago?
All right.
Thank you.